you have to deal with different government entities, you have to deal with private entities, you have you have to also deal with what is the practical situation on each street,
Right.
So there are too many challenges that I can see as an outsider.
Yeah.
But as someone who's been working with this kind of projects, what are the practical challenges that you do face
Right.
with your work at CityWorks?
Right. So since our agenda is to sort of create an improved urban environment,
Yeah.
obviously that means different things to different people.
Yeah.
So straight away, there's no project that comes without challenges.
Yeah.
Because there's no one person to whom the city belongs. The city is a shared space. And every single element that you put in there
Yeah.
is an obstacle for one person and an opportunity for another person.
Yeah.
So by definition, and your choice of word in terms of stakeholders is absolutely right. It is about balancing the needs, wants, and expectations of a wide variety of people. But well-designed shared space is really so beneficial to everyone that it's worth going into the difficulty that it takes to create it. Because the benefits are really huge. And many cities around the world, their economies are built around very positive built environment. People, they attract tourists, they improve business. So there's lots of reasons why we should do it. Practical difficulties are there. One is that some of our projects are driven from the grassroots up.
Okay.
So which means there are residents or someone who's a beneficiary of a park who approach us and then say, can this become a viable project? So we sort of give a visualization to these and help to communicate these ideas which stem from community and take it up to the government level and make a presentation or a petition and say, this is something that the residents or neighborhood wants. Can we consider doing this? Not every project that is proposed gets the go ahead.
Sure.
1 in 5, 1 in 10 might see the light of day. Once the project is accepted as an idea, then the practical difficulties of dealing with the department in terms of how specifications are written, certain formats that have to be followed. All items are not there in the government's standard, rates which are there, which are to bid out. So these are more technical issues.
Yeah.
If you want to bring in something different or something new that doesn't exist in the schedule of rates, then you have to figure out how to fund that. So in some of our projects, we try not to get limited by what is possible within the established system of items. We try to get funding from other sources to make sure that that design element is not compromised.
How do you get that funding?
So literally we reach out to people who know us and talk about the work. We make a pitch document for that and say, look, we are doing this project to improve this park and we want to do an art wall. Would you be interested in contributing either material or the artist fees or volunteers, something to make this happen?
Yeah.
So in the park that we've done in Santhom, we actually did fundraising. Almost 10% of the project budget came out of our fundraising effort. So we have extended our scope. Our scope is not as only designers.
Yeah.
From incubating the project to the technical side of it to even fundraising. And in the particular case of the Santhom project, we actually got involved in the maintenance as well, because we realized that once you create an asset of a certain quality and it's out there for anyone and everyone to use, it's going to get abused if you don't have the framework to maintain it. So we built a WhatsApp volunteer community, got a private developer to sponsor the maintenance of the park, and sort of taken it to that level, only because if you're in public space, you have to think about it from one end of the spectrum to the absolute other end. And all of this is learned the hard way. I've seen projects that we have done which have fallen apart. Like Luz Church Road is one example. We put so much of time and energy into designing the nice footpaths of Luz Church Road, and they're completely not maintained, you can say, in the way it was imagined.
Yeah.
And that's because there was no system of people who are there to take care of it after the project was handed over.
Okay.
So now we try to make sure that post-construction, there is a kind of a framework for it to be looked after. So
when you're saying that, so most of your projects require this kind of fundraising to function?
It's entirely up to us. So
Since they're all self-driven.
Yeah. Some are self-driven, some are driven by the government.
Right.
When they are self-driven, we find that the community is motivated to take care of it because they're part of creating it. When it is led by the government, it's harder because whose baby is this project after it is done? So we have to find people who care about it, bring them together, and make sure that there's someone there to take care of the project after it's done. And that has to percolate to every level, be it an apartment complex or people who live on one street or who are bound by certain interests in a neighborhood. It's really important that even if you have difference of opinion amongst each other, but your shared interest is at least to make sure it is, looked after well. Only then it's possible to sustain it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it falls apart very quickly.
And given that your business functions in this way, do you look at CityWorks as a commercial business entity, or what is your approach to it? Because it's very different, right?
Yeah.
If you were looking at it as a business thing, it's different.
It's a very good question, and I don't look at it as a profit-making venture.
Okay.
But we do believe that it should be paid for. And so we do charge for the services that we do, because if things are given for free, often they are not valued.
Yes.
The duration of these projects is longer, so it takes time and needs a lot of patience to get it done.
Sure.
There is scope to build on this. But like I said, it requires a sort of a certain mindset to do this work. It's not as easy as, say, doing an office interiors fit out, which gets done very quickly within a 3 month, 3 month or a 6 month maximum time frame. These have long duration, and you need to be able to handle many different conflicting views. So in each of the projects that we've done, we've had people protest the projects and the designs.
Yeah.
And we've had to go and either make modifications to accommodate their requests or explain to them why we're doing it a certain way. And there's influence from political side, from residents, from non-profits. There are multiple people who want things to be shaped a certain way.
Yeah.
So I think it requires a certain mindset to be able to take in everyone's point of view and figure something that is a negotiated solution of everyone's wishes.